rapidly approaching my 60th birthday, means I'll be getting the $2 fares very soon. And I first came here in '89 and then permanently since '92. So that means over half my life I've been here. Certainly miss a lot from Hong Kong. This is the big pool at Happy Valley. This is Wan Chai 1880s again. It's showing a really long pier. Well, these are the two that join together to make Repulse Bay panorama.
眼前呢一個每攞起一張香港舊相都可以講唔停嘅係古佬網站創辦人 David Bellis。如果大家上網揾香港歷史，實會揾到呢一個網站。今年已經係古佬運作第15年，累積超過2000萬瀏覽量。網站上面有35000幾張相。而呢一啲珍貴嘅資料唔係只係 David 一個揾翻嚟，係佢喺網站設立咗個論壇，俾嚟自世界各地對香港歷史有興趣嘅網民都可以參與，一齊貢獻。
I like that side of it, the idea of sharing information that other people would find useful. And I'd also been part of an online community. I like that feeling as well, that different people would work together online and help each other.
15年嚟，古佬凝聚咗4方8面嘅歷史愛好者。David 仲同呢一班網友一齊研究未被發掘嘅香港歷史，例如係將二戰時期喺香港入過赤柱拘留營嘅人嘅日記打返晒出嚟，又將香港唔同年代嘅地圖合併喺一個界面，俾讀者睇到唔同時期嘅香港。不過有一個研究由2009年做到而家都仲未做完。呢一個項目係將1854年到1941年嘅陪審員名單由相變做文字版。呢一個名單記錄咗當時嘅人住邊同埋喺邊度做嘢。David 覺得對研究嚟講好有用，但係要說服同埋揾網友幫手整理呢，佢都笑自己有啲固執。
The tricky thing is that I need people to come and type information that they don't use. It's a bit odd. You've got to do something with no gain for yourself.But yet that if we all do it, we all gain. And it's quite a hard thing to sell. But luckily, people have stepped in over the years. We're way past the halfway mark now. We're really coming to the end of that project. To go with the stubbornness, I think you also need to be a bit naive as well. That helps as well.
正正因為 David 呢一份天真，另一個76歲嘅女士透過古佬，終於解答到咁多年嚟佢對爸爸身份嘅謎團。英國人 Annie Dalton 喺6歲之後就再冇見過佢爸爸。Annie 上網揾到佢爸爸曾經喺香港做過皇家陸軍勤務隊嘅少校，但係就再揾唔到更加多資料。6年前有朋友建議 Annie 去古佬嘅論壇留言，睇下有冇人知道更加多。等咗2年，有個好叻做資料搜集嘅網友 David Drake 留言，話幫佢揾到佢爸爸嘅背景同埋家族歷史。
Wulo was sort of the big breakthrough, really, for me. It's funny, I never really thought of other people reading the post-its. When you've wanted something very much for a very long time, but you didn't think it would probably happen, it's a mixture of exciting and scary, I think. Well, I think you got back to me, David, but also David Drake, who was just extraordinary. It was like having your own genealogist.
更加奇妙嘅係3年後嘅有一日，有一個叫做 Cherry Dalton 嘅人喺同一個 post 上面留言，話佢爸爸就係 Annie 喺 post 上面提到一直冇見過同父異母嘅哥哥 Peter Dalton。Annie 同哥哥 Peter 仲喺上年9月喺英國重聚。
Can't even describe how amazing it was. I think when our it sounds really, really cheesy, but when our eyes met, there was a really kind of extraordinary frisson. And then he came and just put his arms around me.And because I'd said, I'm going to be really nervous, so you're just going to have to be very forbearing with me. And he said, don't be nervous, you silly sausage. And his voice, I never have said this to him because it would freak him out. His voice was my dad's voice. And we spent 4 hours in the pub. It's really lovely to meet you, actually. I cannot express how grateful I am to you and to David.Also, other David Drake.
Yes.
If you're in touch with him, please tell him.
No, well, you were just sort of steering it in the right direction, as I said before. You've got the big history of why did this country fight this country and why did this war start, but there's also personal history, and I think we all want to understand ourselves, and to do that we often have to understand our parents and the family, and if people can feel that the history is somehow explaining things and giving some ideas about why things are the way they are, then I think that would be a very good result of the website.
嚟緊 David 兩個女都會喺英國讀書，而且 David 想返英國陪上咗年紀嘅媽媽。下個月佢哋一家將會離開香港。離開之前 ，David 嘅太太 Grace 鼓勵 David 要搞個告別演講。最後3場講座有超過400人出席。
And then when we started talking about doing it, when we talk about the venue, the Science Museum is about 250 people. Oh, we're not going to get that many people. And Grace says, you go ahead. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So you're right.
I have confidence in him. I know that he has a lot of fans out there. So I find it quite fascinating how history could reach out to different levels of people. And there are also some great people out there. David is not the only person who's willing to share. Seeing so many people willing to share, it actually gives me quite a positive boost to humanity. Because at the moment, with what's going on in Hong Kong, it could get quite depressing sometimes.
If now you have the chance to say one word to her, what would you like to talk to him about?
Well done.
That's Yes.
喺香港住咗超過30年，亦都就嚟要離開。但 David 對呢一個城市仲有好多嘢未擺得低，例如當年九龍城寨外圍嘅石牆係咪用咗嚟起啟德河呢？佢話因為日本侵佔香港之前，石牆仲存在，但1945年之後，石牆就消失，而日軍當時就係起緊啟德河。呢一啲未解答嘅問題 ，David 決定擺喺網站討論區，等其他有心人一齊解決。
Just step by step. So each time you just do the little next step, and then over time, if you keep going for long enough, it will grow.
David 離開香港之後，咁古佬又會點呢？佢仲會唔會繼續經營落去？佢又點睇自己咁多年嚟堅持營運網站嘅選擇？
The website actually runs on a server in America, so it doesn't really matter if I'm in Hong Kong or we'll be in Wales. That's where we're heading to. So the Annie Dalton story that we talked about, both Annie and the contributor are actually based in the UK. I often think of it like this enormous jigsaw puzzle, and each person's got one little piece, and Gula hopefully gives you the right place to put your piece. I suppose just lucky to be a part of it. Yeah, it's cool. A small shop that sold Lo Mai Goon, like those a lot, so probably Lo Mai Goon was one of the first things I said.